When considering culture in the classroom, it's tempting to focus only on what we see, like what language our students speak, what food they bring with them, how they dress, or whether they celebrate familiar holidays. Picture an iceberg. While it's often easy to spot the tip of one, you can never really know the true size of it until you put a camera under the water to look at it more deeply. The same can be said for people. Visible aspects do offer clues of our students' identities, but they're only the tip of the iceberg of who they actually are. The true cultural influences that shape human behavior, values, and learning often reside in what we cannot see, which lies below the surface. The Cultural Iceberg Model illustrates this dynamic in more detail. Like an iceberg, culture has a small visible part and a much larger invisible mass that profoundly affects how individuals experience the world around them. Above the surface, which would be the tip of the iceberg, is where we may observe things like languages spoken, clothing, appearance, celebrations, holidays, food choices, accents, or even the use of support aids such as hearing devices and mobility tools. These observable elements are important, but they're often interpreted in isolation. For example, a teacher may notice that a student speaks with an accent and assumes limited competence, or sees a student wearing religious attire and makes assumptions about their beliefs or behavior. These quick judgments can lead to misunderstandings, even with the best intentions. Beneath the surface are the more powerful, less visible cultural influences, including perceptions of authority, participation norms, communication preferences, views on success, time orientation, beliefs about family roles in education, and concepts of respect. Consider the case of a student who rarely makes eye contact or volunteers to speak. Rather than viewing this as disengagement or disrespect, a culturally responsive teacher would consider, is this a reflection of a cultural value, such as humility or deference? Similarly, if a student avoids group work, it may not be a sign of social isolation, but rather a learned norm from a previous educational setting where independent work was prioritized over group work. These deeper cultural layers influence not only how our students behave, but how they interpret the classroom environment overall, how they relate to authority, and whether they feel safe enough to take academic risks for themselves. Without understanding what lies beneath the surface, teachers may misread student behavior and students may feel misunderstood or invisible in the classroom. By consciously looking below the surface, educators can better interpret student actions, respond more effectively, and create learning environments where differences are understood as part of the whole learner. Now that we understand what's below the surface, let's look at 3 specific strategies to address these hidden behaviors in your students for your next lesson.